Hi dolls, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Darrell and thank you so much for watching. So in today's video, I am bringing you my favourite products that I've been using in this current year, 2019. All these products that you are going to see in this video have been hands down my go-to, favourite, if not best products I've used in a very long time. Now disclaimer, okay? Get a few things clear. Some of these products have not been released in 2019. They were released a couple of years prior, maybe last year or the year before. However, I'm currently still using them in 2019, and also some of the products actually have launched in 2019 as well. So if you would like to see my favourite products of 2019, then please keep watching. Okay guys, let's start off with moisturiser. So my favourite moisturiser of 2019, like hands down, has to be the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. I've maybe used this pretty much every time I've done my makeup this year. This is a really nice, like, luxurious moisturiser to use. It is quite expensive, but it's just so smoothing and it really does hydrate your face, and it works as a makeup primer too, so you're kind of getting two in one. My skin is on the dry side, so when I put on makeup, sometimes the makeup, depending on what it is, can really grab to my face and just give me a lot of dry patches, but with this moisturiser I never seem to have that. So if you haven't tried it, I would really suggest you do try it. It is quite expensive, like I said, so if you can find a moisturiser that can serve you as a moisturiser slash makeup primer, then you're kind of paying for two products in one, so it works out. You're saving money anyway, in a way. So for primer, this product I've probably been using for the last maybe a year and a half now. So I bought this before 2019, but I've been using it all year round. Once you find a good primer, you kind of don't really want to try other primers, and that's kind of been the case with this primer. This is the YSL Touch'e Eclat Face Blurring Primer, and she looks like this. Absolutely adore this primer. It's really hydrating, it's got little gold flexes in it, so you get that glowing within look, and plus it blurs out any visible pores. It's just so smooth on the skin, and it kind of gives you a nice radiance as well. Okay, so foundation. This was probably the hardest one to pick because I was sort of on the fence, because some foundations that I bought prior 2019 I've been wearing this year, but then I really wanted to narrow it down to one foundation that I've actually purchased this year, that has come out this year, that I've really liked. But out of all the foundations that have come out this year, I've really been enjoying the Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous foundation. This foundation is just so beautiful on the skin. It's very luminous. I just love the way it applies to the skin. It's quite a natural looking foundation. I think it's marketed as a medium foundation, but you can build it up to full coverage. But I just love the way it looks. It's got quite a natural look to it, and I like foundations that look more like skin as opposed to something that just looks very cakey. I've noticed with this foundation, no matter what sort of look I pair it with, like a full glam, and I get a lot of compliments as well when I wear this foundation. A lot of people ask me, what foundation are you wearing? This is a bit on the pricey side. I think it's definitely in the 40s. I think it's 42, 45. Don't quote me on that. I think it's around that. But you can get it on sale from time to time. I got this on sale on Cult Beauty when they had their 15% off. That's what it's looking like on the skin. Very luminous and dewy. But it still looks like skin, which is important. When I wear a foundation, I still want it to look somewhat radiant and natural as it gets. This concealer is just, oh, I can't say enough good things about it. First of all, I absolutely love the size of this concealer, because it's quite hard to find a concealer the size of this which will last you quite a long time. If I compare the Nars creamy concealer, which I used to adore back in the day, this is the only concealer that I would use, but however I would always go through so many of these concealers because of how much product is actually in it, which is not a lot. And also most concealers that I find are always matte, like have a matte finish, whereas my skin's quite dry. The last thing I need is like a really dry matte concealer underneath my eyes, because then my eyes will just get really dry, whereas this concealer gives you a nice hydration underneath the eyes or wherever you apply the concealer, and it's full coverage. So if you like a concealer that's really full coverage, this is great for you. If you like more of a medium one, then all you need to use is like a little bit, and then that way it will last you long anyway. This is still on the first dip. I haven't even dipped in again, and look how much product is still on the doe foot applicator. I mean, I'm just saying. And also, if you are a kind of person who likes to put on their concealer and let it sit there for a little while, this concealer does not dry down quick, which allows you some room time to work with the product, which is nice, because there's nothing worse than putting on a concealer and then having to, I don't know, run downstairs or take a phone call, and then by the time you go to blend it out, it's like literally dried into your skin where it doesn't budge. This one does not do that. And to show you it doesn't do that, I'm going to move on to my next product. This product should not be a surprise. I think I've used this product in all my videos, and I basically use this every single day. This is the Huda Beauty Tantour Bronze and Contour Cream in shade medium. This cream contour is just, it's just perfect. It's so creamy. It's not overly pigmented to the point where you apply this much and then you're just left with like a big brown blob that doesn't blend out. It really does blend out really nicely, and a little bit goes a long way too. This is not an intense contour cream, which is what I like. It's a contour cream that you can work with, that you can diffuse as much as you like, you can build up as much as you like, and the end result still looks somewhat natural looking. That's what I love about this cream right here. It just always blends out seamlessly. And again, you can leave this product on your face for a while and it won't settle down to the point where you can't blend it out. And she does a range of different shades as well, which is always good. I think most people, especially like people that are beginners in makeup, one of their scariest things to learn how to do is contour. I remember when I first was starting out with cream contour, it just looked so easy, so basic, and then when I would do it, I would end up with brown splotches all over my face. One of my friends was asking about this the other day. When she watched my last video, she was like, you make contour look so easy. Let me just tell you, it did not look like that a few years ago. You just kind of have to get used to the frame of your own face. It's good to get techniques from other people, but really you have to base it on your own face and where your natural contours are. I think the key is definitely blending as well, and the product too. Now that's blended out, I'm going to go in and blend out my concealer, which still, as you can see, blends out effortlessly. It hasn't set underneath my eye or dried down. I can still blend it out like so. When it comes to one of my favourite products of 2019, like hands down, it has to be the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Loose Setting Powder. This right here, this may be the best product that has come out for 2019 for me personally. Like, I find it physically hard to not use this on a daily basis, and I've got a lot of setting powders. I use the Huda Beauty setting powder, I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills loose setting powder, I use the Beauty Bakery setting powder, but I always come back to this powder right here. When I say smoothest powder, smoothest finely milled powder, airbrushed, pro filter, Instagram filter, this is the powder that lets you achieve that look. The way it applies to the skin is so effortless, so buttery. It instantly gives you a nice airbrush look. And the colour, okay, this is something that I've struggled with for years when it comes to setting powders, is getting the right colour setting powder to suit my skin tone, to brighten, to lift, that I can also set my whole face with too. Like, this does it all for me. The shade Banana, like, seriously, gives me a nice brightened look, but not so bright that it kind of washes me out. This powder doesn't do that. This one gives me a nice brightened look, and plus I can use it to set my whole face too, and it won't wash me out or make me look ghost-like. And I found that with so many other setting powders, like, it's very inconsistent, whereas this one, it does what it says. And that is all you can ask for in a product. And I feel like Fenty is the #1 brand that does that. They're like one of the few brands that actually will listen to the feedback of the customers, and the diversity is just, oh, definitely my favourite brand of 2019. Yes, I said it, okay? Fenty Beauty all the way. If I could recommend one powder to anyone, any sort of skin tone, skin type. This, come and get your Fenty, mate. Come and get your Fenty. And no, this video is not sponsored by Fenty. I bloody wish. But regardless, I will never, ever, ever say anything bad about this powder. So for bronzer that I've been using in 2019, again, a no-brainer. This is a product I've been using literally all year round. It is once again the Fenty Beauty bronzer in the shade Caramel Cutie. Okay, so there are a lot of things I do like about this powder. One, the colour is perfect and the colour range is really, really good as well. But are we surprised it is Fenty Beauty? And they're very inclusive, so just saying. But also the pigment of this bronzer. So I kind of like a bronzer that's not so uberly pigmented to the point where it just leaves you looking like a muddy mess. It's a buildable bronzer. And what I mean by buildable is that you can apply like a light dust, which looks quite natural, and then you can tap back in and build it up to however you desire. It's a very smooth finish as well. It's not patchy, and I just love the finish of it. I haven't really gravitated to any other bronzer this year. I just always find myself coming back to this one, and that's how you know a product works. So depending on preference, some people stop at bronzer and that will serve them as both their bronzer / contour, but I've always been a contour queen, so I always have to contour no matter what look I'm doing. This year I have not been able to put down the KKW Beauty contour and highlight palette, and this is the medium palette, which looks like this. It's a really nice subtle bronzer, and I really like the colour of this as well because it doesn't look too harsh. It's very buttery, very smooth, again not patchy, it just really blends in nicely to whatever bronzer I'm wearing. This is on the expensive side for a contour palette, but the pans are bloody huge. So I mean, I bought this, was it last year? And I haven't even hit pan. So I guess I don't really mind paying extra money if it's going to last me years to come, and especially if the product is actually decent too, which I think it is. And I love the packaging as well. I can take some of that bronze shade and just contour my nose. This is, I think, the only shade I ever contour my nose with. It's quite subtle, so it doesn't look like two brown lines just going down my nose, which in the past I was guilty of. But this colour is more on the natural side. So for brows, you're in for a treat today because I don't normally do my eyebrows on camera because it just takes so long, and when I say I'm silent when I do my eyebrows, so I just need time to kind of just perfect them. I'm such a perfectionist when it comes to eyebrows. So having said that, I'm very, very particular with my eyebrows and the eyebrow products that I use. So if I had to pick one eyebrow product that came out this year that I have not been able to stop using, it has to be the Fenty Beauty eyebrow pencil. I love everything about this product. I love the color ranges. It was so easy for me to find my shade, and also the brush tip as well is different because normally you get like these spoolies, whereas Rihanna kind of was just like, she wanted to obviously change it up, which is nice. And it's more like a brush, like a slick brush, which not only brushes up your eyebrows but also can kind of tame them too and smooth them down to the shape that you desire, which is really cool. And the pencil itself is very fine and very thin, which is what I look for in an eyebrow product. I like how thin it is because then you can really sculpt out where you want that line to be when you're carving out your eyebrows. You can add those hair-like brush strokes to your brows, which I love to do. I like my brows to look as natural as I can get them. I like the fluffy look of an eyebrow, and I can definitely achieve that with this pencil, which is the perfect colour for my brows because it's not too dark and it's not too light either. And then this brush kind of diffuses the product, so any excess product that you don't need, it will lift it without smudging or making it look messy. Okay, now I'm going to set the brows with my usual Benefit eyebrow gel. This is the 24-hour brow setter. This is like a holy grail product that I just won't try any other eyebrow gel because it just does the job, so I don't really feel like I need to kind of go on the hunt for like, oh, I need like, what's the next best eyebrow gel? Like this one does it for me. Not only does it set my brow to the point where they do not budge, but it also gives me a really nice texture to my brows too. They look more fluffier. And plus it doesn't leave any residue where you have to kind of peel it off. This is just a holy grail. So all year round I've basically been using the same eye primer to use on my eyes, to prime my eyes, then plus also to carve out my brows. It's the Nars concealer, the soft matte one. And I basically just use that to carve out my brows and to prime my eyelids for eyeshadow. I like using this product because it's just easy and it gives a nice coverage as well. It glides on really nicely, and I noticed that my eyeshadow as well looks way more pigmented and it stays on a lot longer too when I use this concealer. Okay dolls, when it comes to eyeshadow, if I'm honest, I'm quite a creature of habit, so I tend to kind of just stick with the same eyeshadows that A, work, B, have the colour scheme that work best on my eyes. I haven't really been that uberly impressed with some of the eyeshadows that have come out this year. So if I had to pick one eyeshadow palette that I've been using the majority of the year, it's easily going to be the Morphe X James Charles palette. Now James came out with this 2018, I believe. I didn't purchase it until 2019 because I was kind of overwhelmed with the palettes that came out last year, that I didn't need an extra palette. But once I kind of got myself together, I then finally purchased it and I absolutely love it. Morphe as a brand, when it comes to eyeshadows, like my first eyeshadow palette I ever purchased was a Morphe eyeshadow palette, and I've been using them for years, since I was like a teenager. And as you can tell, it's a bit beat up. It's because I've used it so many times this year, but look how beautiful this palette is. So this year alone, I've come up with a lot of different makeup looks using this palette, because obviously it's very diverse in that sense. But one of my favourite looks to do is the look I'm going to do today, and it's just my everyday bronzy gold eye. A staple. This did come with the coloured names, but I've lost that sheet of paper. I don't normally keep them because it's just, there's so many shades, like it's just a bit of a chore to keep it, because it always flips out when you're trying to open your palette. So anyways, I'm just going to show you the colours I use. So I'm going to use this brown shade right here. It's in the middle, and I'm going to use that as my transition colour. I'm just going to put that in my crease, and as you can see, this is very pigmented. The colours in here are very vibrant, which is nice because that way you'll get a lot of colour payoff, as you can see, and they blend so creamy and so effortlessly. That's what I love about Morphe as a brand. They're quite consistent with their eyeshadows. Since Jaclyn Hill came out with her original palette, I think they changed slightly the formula of their eyeshadows, and since then I think any eyeshadow palette that's come out after that, they use the same formula. Next shade I'm going to use is the one right next to the shade I just used. It's like a deeper chocolate brown. I'm taking that on the same brush and just deepening up the crease. So pigmented. As you can see, there's no trouble in the payoff or pigment department. Like, these shadows are absolutely gorgeous. Okay, shuffling over, literally I'm going in like a 3. So the next shade is the one right next to the one I just used, and this is more of a deep coffee brown. So I'm just going to tuck that in my crease like so, just to give more definition and more drama. Now I'm going to go with this very pale yellow shade. I'm just going to place it at the tops to kind of blend out everything to make sure it's nice and seamless. I'm just going to take the tiniest bit of this shade right here. It's the last shade in the second row on a more precise brush, and I'm just literally going to tuck that in my crease just to give it a little bit more dimension. Okay, now for shimmer, I'm going to take this gold right here. This shade's one of my favourite colours in the palette. Literally just going to start swiping it, like so. And now I'm going to take that same brush and I'm going to dip into this gold, which is the third shade on the top row. Just going to pop her where I popped the other colour. I'm just going to pop some Stellar glitter on the eyes. Again, a holy grail, which I probably will be using every year because that's kind of what I seem to be doing when it comes to glitters. I love these Stellar metallic eyeshadow glitters. Okay guys, I'm going to finish off the look off camera. I will be right back. Okay guys, I've just finished my eye look and this is what it looks like. I also added some eyelashes. So my eyelashes of choice of 2019 has to be the Tatti Lashes TL3, which are these babies right here. They're just a really pretty lash and I like quite wispy looking lashes and they're just ultra glam, so I love them. And mascara, it's the Benefit Roller Lash. Just does my lashes right, alright? And it always looks good. So as always, when it comes to blushy blush, I always use the Nars blush. Oh god, and I've just broken it. Oh my god, literally just broken it. Oh lovely. It's a nice mix between a coral, peach and a pink. It really suits my skin tone. Okay, so when it comes to highlighter, I apologise for this one because it is discontinued. Sorry! But it legit is my favourite highlighter and I've got a lot of highlighters, but when it comes to choosing one and narrowing it down to one, it has to be the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amerzy highlighter. It's just so stunning and it's just that perfect shade of gold that is quite universal. This one does really complement a lot of skin tones. It's just stunning. Every time I put it on, it just goes with every look I do. No matter what sort of look it is, it just always looks good. It's like a glazed donut. It just glazes on the skin really nicely. And I don't know why this is limited edition. It's so annoying because then when I run out of this, I don't know what I'm going to do. So setting spray, this one's kind of easy because this one I've been using pretty much all year round. I don't know what year it came out. I'm pretty sure it came out last year. Might have been the year before. I'm thinking it was last year. And that's the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. If you're looking for a setting spray that literally melts your makeup into your skin to the point it looks like skin again, this is the one you need. And it sprays like a hairspray as well because some setting sprays can be quite harsh when they spray and it kind of leaves those wet little dots around your face. This one doesn't do it. It's like a fine mist. I just love it. I can literally do this all day. Okay, when it comes to lip products, there's only really two brands I will really use for lip products, and that is Huda and Fenty. Fenty is really good for those bold colours like the browns, the purples, the red. If I'm looking for a shade like that, I will always go to Fenty. But when it comes to them nudes, Miss Huda never lets me down. I can always find a shade in Huda. I can probably find about 4. This is the lipstick Board Meeting, and I love to line my lips with Spice Girl. In 2019 I discovered this shade and it's called Board Meeting and it's, oh, lush. I love the formula of her lipstick, so creamy. And she looks like this. Okay dolls, this is the end of the video. This was my favourite products of 2019. Everything I've used in this video I've been using all year round and I've really enjoyed these products and I just really wanted to share them with you. Let me know in the comments below if you're going to try any of these products, if you've already got them and you like them, you hate them, you love them. Either way, let me know your thoughts. All these products work for me. They might not necessarily work for you, but I hope I've helped you in some sort of way in this video and that you've enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram and that is at dollfacedarrellbeauty. I'm planning to film a lot more videos in the new year, so please let me know down below in the comment section what you guys want to see. If you want to see any sort of look, any sort of product review, let me know. But thank you so much guys for watching. I really appreciate it and I hope to see you on the next one.